There was this one player on the Grizzlies who tweeted strength in numbers after they beat us in the regular season, and it pissed me off so much. I can't wait to retweet that thing. Freaking bum.
Dylan, on the next road trip, you guys face off against the Warriors for the first time since the playoffs. It was announced earlier this week Steph would be out for a couple of weeks. As a competitor, does it kind of piss you off that he won't be available for the Christmas Day game?
Yeah, a little bit. I hope he plays, though. But I got Clay. I like that matchup better because he was talking a little smack when we lost. So I'll just show him what type of defense I got. You know what I mean? But
I love it.
Talk about it.
You are now tuned in to Above the Rim. Hoops talk for the street.
Family, what's good? Welcome back to another edition of Above the Rim. Hoops talk for the streets. You already know how we do, family. Brought to you, as always, it's your host, Justin, a.k.a. Just Blaze. Family, you know the drill. To get in contact with me, you can always hit me up and follow me on Twitter at JustBlaze_513, on IG at JustBlaze513. On Facebook and YouTube, search Above the Rim Podcast. Also, email the show as well, Above the Rim NBA Podcast at gmail.com. Family, tap in and leave a voicemail. The line is always open. 908-718-1592. Make sure y'all calling in, leaving your voicemails. Best way to support the show is by copying your merch. As always, link is in my bio. All the merch on the website. Cop your hoodies, cop your tees, cop your mugs, cop all your good stuff. You need baby clothes. You want the Above the Rim logo on there? Cop that too. Anything and everything is appreciated, of course. Make sure you leave your boy a review on iTunes and Spotify as well. Also, hit that thumbs up on the YouTube videos. Throw a flame in the comments. Whatever it is, make sure you're showing love. I appreciate you, as always, family, for taking this journey with your boy. Solo episode this week. A lot of things I want to discuss. My fault. I know I've been going, a couple of weeks now. Maybe 2-3 weeks now, something like that. Had to come in here really quick. Give you a nice Christmas snack. You know what I'm saying? Before the holidays. And plenty of things I want to discuss, man. Plenty of special guests I got lining up for the new year. Lining up for the next couple of episodes I have. So stay tuned for that also as well. But this episode here, the Quarter Water Awards is what I'm calling it. I got to give the Quarter Water Awards because we are a quarter of a way into the season. Might be a little couple more games over than a quarter of the games. Maybe 25, 30 games in now. But if you're watching, listening to this from New York City, you already know what a quarter water is, so I don't have to really explain that to y'all. But for my people listening out of state, wherever you listening, quarter waters is some New York stuff. I mean, it might be in other places, but hey, red, blue, purp, let's get to it, man. The quarter waters. Quarter water awards. I'm gonna just call it the QW. The QW Awards, all right? So it's time for some news around the NBA. Let's start you off here. Steph Curry is one of the big news in the NBA right now. The Warriors, the Warriors are going through some trouble this season, and it may have just gotten a little bit worse. Steph is out right now. It's going to be out for a couple of weeks with that shoulder injury that will have him missing maybe around 3 weeks or so to a month, possibly a month. Can the Warriors hold their ground in the West until he gets back? It's going to be a tough task, but I think they can, actually. I know a lot of people are, some people are shaky on the Warriors this season. They haven't been playing up to par. They are the defending champions. They haven't been playing up to speed, but I mean, a lot of people can chalk that up to chemistry. Some people can chalk that up to some growing pains. You know, a lot of people are thinking it's a championship hangover as well. And they have been a tough team to gauge this season. The defense has been a little subpar. The offense has been pretty average and very Steph Curry dependent. They're not really rebounding this ball as well this season. Draymond isn't really a scoring threat this season as much. Wiggins has been out for the past 6 to 7 games now. I think he's going to miss a couple more, so he's been missing in action as well. Klay Thompson has been improving, but he can be inconsistent at times, but the defense is keying in on him. Jordan Poole has been balling lately. He started the season off a little bit rough. Actually, he was scoring in the beginning of the season, then tailed off a little bit, and he's been very inconsistent throughout the entire season. But since Steph been out, he's been balling. Now, granted, it's only been a couple of games. He's been averaging 30 basically since Steph been out. So now it's his time to earn and to justify that $100 million contract that he got over here this summer. And if Jordan Poole can handle that increased scoring load, he can handle that increased workload, that increased responsibility that comes with that workload, I think the Warriors will be just fine. I think they have to play a little bit better on the road. The Warriors are tied with the Mavericks and the Raptors as three of the teams with the fewest wins on the road this season. I believe they only have 3 road wins thus far as I'm recording this. So they're at the bottom tier of the entire league in road wins. So they got to get better on the road, clearly. And it might be, some help along the way. I wouldn't say help, but they do have a homestand coming up, the Warriors. They have, I think, the longest homestand for any team this season coming up is they have a 8-game homestand that begins with the Christmas schedule against the Grizzlies. Y'all heard the intro. That's one of my favorite games going into the Christmas schedule will be the Grizzlies and the Warriors. A lot of smack going on, a lot of love going on between these two teams, but the matchup is going to be a little bit dampened without Steph Curry being there and probably without Desmond Bain there as well. So it still actually may be an intriguing game with both teams having one of their top scoring threats out. So Warriors, I'ma still say pump the brakes on these guys. I think they can navigate their way through the Steph Curry injury, and I think they'll be okay by the time he comes back. Now, saying okay is not top 3 seed, not top 4, but I still think they're going to be hovering around 9th, 8th, 7th, and 6th seed. So, Warriors fans, y'all be all right. Moving on. Anthony Davis, another guy who's going through some injuries. Remember last episode, me and my man Ted was on here. We gave AD all the praise. We gave AD all the props. And look what happened. Shout out to Ted, first of all, for coming on that last episode. One of my brothers. Look what happens after we gave AD all of that praise, man. Now he's out for a month. Now he goes and gets hurt. He's out for a month with a foot injury after putting up career-high numbers this season, AD, right? I told him he needed to take the keys. He was starting to inch toward taking the keys from LeBron James, but now it's going down to a screeching halt now. I think he's out for about a month now. They said maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, but somewhere around a month. After putting career high numbers up this season with that foot injury. Now, how are the underachieving Los Angeles Lakers going to replace that 27-12 production from Anthony Davis? If I'm keeping it a buck, I always do. They can't replace that shit. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, family. They can't replace that 27-12 production that AD is giving them. So what happens next if they can't replace it? They might drop. How much can they drop? They're already damn near 12th in the conference, 10th in the conference, 11th in the conference. Who cares what the Lakers are right now? But they're not in 1 through 8. So it's going to be interesting how they navigate this injury, because the one person on the Lakers that couldn't have gotten injured this season or would make the biggest impact not being in this season, as we saw last season, is Anthony Davis. The Lakers just literally don't have the personnel to replace Anthony Davis. Now, don't come in here and tell me that Thomas Bryant, Damian Jones, who else is a center now? That's about it. I don't know what other big men they got. Don't tell me those guys can replace what Anthony Davis gives or even come close to even delivering the impact that Anthony Davis was doing, because they can't. They can't. Both of them combined still can't give you the production that he's doing. So no way you're going to convince me that those two brothers can really supplement the production that AD has been given this season. So with that being said, we know LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, both of these guys are going to have to carry the squad in order to keep them afloat. Now, we talk about Russ. He's been playing well off the bench. Now, he's been playing well off the bench, and there's been crickets from the media. Crickets on how Russell Westbrook has really embraced coming off the bench, not bitching about it, being cool about it, and, producing off the bench. So, hasn't been getting a lot of credit for that in the national media, but I'm here to give him some credit. I really appreciate how Russ has really turned the tide this season and hasn't allowed the narrative to overtake this particular season in the way that they overtook last season for him. So shout out to Russ for really, turning the tide individually. Now, does it translate to wins? Yeah, here and there. Some wins, some maybe not. We saw Darvin Ham pretty much bench Russ for the that last win that the Lakers had when AD was out against the Wizards. Now, we know Russ wasn't happy about that. We saw his brother. I think he had some comments about that as well. So we know Russ is not happy coming off the bench. He's just content coming off the bench. So we're going to see if that remains to be the same when AD is not in the lineup anymore, because now you need Russell Westbrook a lot more. So if he wants to start, are you going to let him start? Are you going to switch it up? Or are you going to keep him off the bench if he actually wants to change his position and really go back into the starting lineup? So, excuse me, we're going to see how Darvin Ham really navigates that and how he really handles that situation with Russell Westbrook going forward. And we're going to see. And as far as LeBron James goes, AD being out means that LeBron's stat pattern is in full effect. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I mean, why not at this point, to be honest with you, man? The score record is within reach. We know he's going to get it in the next month or two. LeBron can get you 40, and the Lakers will still lose. All right? So that's why I'm saying the stat pattern will be in full effect. Now, by the time AD comes back in maybe about 10 to 15 games, I don't know what the win and loss record is going to be, but the stats are going to look sexy. I'll tell you that for LeBron. And listen, I'm going to be honest. I don't think it's any disrespect to say that LeBron can't carry this team going forward at his advanced age, right? LeBron has been to the playoffs, 2 out of his 4 full seasons in LA. I think that right there is proof in the pudding that he can carry this team to a playoff berth. He can get you some wins, of course, but carry your team to a playoff berth in the deep Western Conference, I don't think it's possible anymore at this age. And even though he's playing well, the stats that he's putting up are still admirable for his age. In his 20th season, giving you 27, 8, and 6 is still outstanding. Clearly, by far and away, the most points per game by any player in his 20th season. I think the next best after that was Kobe in his 20th season, averaged 17. But we're going to see how LeBron James handles AD's absence. Because I think it's going to be interesting how LeBron really shifts how he plays. Is he going to be more distributing, or is he going to take on more of a scoring role with AD out? We're going to see, because it's going to be a tough stretch, and we're going to see how the Lakers handle this tough stretch, because we all know who won't be contributing to their success, and that's Patrick Beverley. We know that. Come on now. Moving on. A couple of guys who are coming back from injury. Tom Lord. We got to give a shout out to my boy Tom Lord. He's finally coming back from injury right now for the Boston Celtics after being out from last year. The Celtics have been bringing him along slowly, but it's good to see him back. He's only played about 2 or 3 games thus far. He's been his typical disruptive, defensive self, Tom Lord. So great to see him back. Another person that's coming back, or has been back, my boy, Cardiac Kemba Walker. Shout out to my guy coming back. Listen, the streets told me he was washed. I wasn't trying to hear it. I wasn't trying to see it. My boy came back. And listen, he's playing well. He's putting up numbers. You see what he did the other day in his first start with Luka out. 32, 5, 7, forced the Cavs to OT without Luka. He played a whole 42 minutes in that game. For all of these Twitter doctors who talk shit about his knees being able to hold up, y'all know what I'm about to say to the haters. Washed who? Cardiac Kemba came in and played well. Played a couple of games now for the Mavs. He's been an excellent pickup for the Mavs. And I think the pickup of Kemba Walker will pay dividends come playoff time. Mark my words. I think there's gonna be a playoff game or two that Kemba Walker is gonna win you with his scoring prowess as a starter or off the bench. The Mavs have got a solid team. They really just got to put all their pieces together. And, like I said before, you know I'm loud and very vocal about this on Twitter, but shout out to my man Kemba, and I'm happy he's back on the league, and I'm happy he's got a chance. Now, we just need Melo to sign some Williams. So we're going to see if that's going to happen. Moving on. Family, some of the best basketball in the entire league is being played where right now? Where is it being played? Right here at the crib in New York City. Some of the best basketball in the league has been playing. Now listen, I don't know if you heard, the Knicks and the Nets are both streaking at this time. Both at the same time. Both of these boys are winning. One of the few times and one of the rare occasions we see both of the Brooklyn Nets and the New York Knicks playing well at the same time. So shout out to those fellas. The Nets are 12-3 since Kyrie Irving has come back from suspension. Top 5 in the East right now. 17-7 from firing that scrub Steve Nash from a coach, all right? They was Brooklyn Nets were basically 2-5 when Steve Nash got booted. The Nets have gotten better. They're second in the league in field goal percentage, sixth in the league in three-point percentage, but they have to get better on the boards. They're being 28th in rebounding is not going to cut it for the Brooklyn Nets, but they have been playing excellent since Kyrie has come back from suspension. We talk about Kevin Durant right now. KD's having a stellar year, averaging 36-5 while barely missing any games this season. His efficiency is up, scoring is up, attendance is up. Leadership has been steady while navigating all of the outside noise that's been surrounding this Nets team all year. He's been unstoppable offensively. This KD MVP type season has gone under the radar, and I don't know why. But maybe we do know why. I'm going to leave it there. The New York Knicks are also another team that's playing well, all right? They're playing well, too. Listen. 7-game win streak as I'm recording this right now. Playing much better defensively and has creeped into the top 10 in defensive ranking as a team. Listen, since the Knicks, Tom Thibodeau changed that starting lineup to focus on more of a defensive-minded unit, more defensive, intensified unit. They are 9-4 since then, all right? Fournier, Rose, Reddish out, Quentin Grimes, McBride in. They have been playing better. Knicks have become more youthful. Knicks have had more energy, been more active, listening, I guess, a little bit more to Thibodeau. And they have been playing well. Listen, a couple of weeks back when they had that matinee game in Madison Square Garden, when Luka and the Mavs came in, Luka went outside, went on a tree bench. He got the switch, and he gave a couple of spankers to the Knicks. The whole Dallas Mavericks team spanked the Knicks in Madison Square Garden on that matinee game. I believe it was a Saturday or Sunday. I can't remember which day it was, but it was horrible. And I went on Twitter and I said, yo, the Knicks, pack it up. It's time to pack it up. Tank mode in the next 5 games. But they turned the corner. And I got to show these boys some love. RJ Barrett has been excellent over his last couple of games. He's been a lot more consistent. Randall has been keeping his emotions in check this season, a lot more, especially lately. Jalen Brunson has been that steady force that we know he would be, that I knew he would be coming into this lineup. Now, I'm not going to get crazy because it is the Knicks that we're talking about right here. But they're playing some great ball right now. They're in the playoff race right now. And it's going to be interesting to watch to see if they can keep this momentum going, because right now, technically, we will be looking at a subway series between the Brooklyn Nets and the New York Knicks in the playoffs in the first round. So if that were to happen, it would be a big deal for the city, and it would be nice to see. So I know the Nets are going to be in the playoffs, but the Knicks, y'all a little bit shaky, but I'm rooting for you. Let's get it done. Another team that's streaking. Listen, me and Ted put the word out for y'all. I'm telling y'all, the Orlando Magic has been streaking. Me and Ted came in last episode, put the word out, put the doves out, put the bird call out, and they listen. These boys are listening right now. The Orlando Magic are on a 6-game winning streak right now. And wins against some quality teams. They won 2 games against the Celtics. They beat the Raptors, they beat the Hawks, and they beat the Clippers. Come on. The Magic are streaking right now. Bobo's still balling. The people's champ still giving those numbers, giving those goodies. Markelle Fultz is back. He's playing well. Cole Anthony also back, playing well. Paolo, legit. We tried to tell y'all last episode. I mean, I know the streets already knew, so it's not like we was giving some brand new information, but we had to put the seal on it. We had to put the stamp on it. Paolo is the truth. You know when I say a player is the truth, son is the truth. And Paolo is the truth. I'm telling you right now. He's still averaging 22 and 7 as a rookie, which is nuts. I'm telling you right now, he's one of the most polished rookies that I've ever seen, right? So I'm going to ask Magic fans, right? I know some of you want to tank. Some of you want to try to win a little bit or have some type of threshold in between winning and, tanking a little bit. Are you going to go all out and try to go for Webby? Or should you be cool with that number 2 pick and go for Scoot? Me, personally, I said it to Ted. I think they should go for Scoot. G League Ignite, a nice, young, explosive guard who could come in and really make an impact on your roster. But I know the sexy pick is Wembanyama, where everybody knows that from France. But I already think you got something very similar to that in Bobo in that lineup, and you don't need 2. You got 1 unicorn. Actually, you got 2 unicorns. Paolo is a unicorn his damn self. So the Magic got some pieces over there, and I was thinking about this, right? Going over Paolo, how he's been great this season, averaging 22 and 7 as a rookie. I was thinking back and I was thinking about Zion in his rookie year. He was coming in too. Polished project, been playing well. So I wanted to ask the family this. I want y'all to respond to me and let me know what y'all think about this. As a number 1 pick prospect, would you rather have Paolo or Zion? Zion this season is averaging 25 and 7 in year 4. Paolo is averaging 22 and 7 in year 1. Both number 1 picks, both power forwards, both game changers, both unicorns. As a number 1 pick prospect, who would you rather have? Zion or Paolo? Talk to me, family. Let me know. Moving on. Listen. I got to talk about those Phoenix Suns. All right? I've been trying to be quiet this whole year, all right? I've been a lot more reserved. I don't know. A lot of you who listen to the show, who follow me on Twitter, know how crazy I am when it comes to any type of CP, anything. I've been quiet this year. Been real quiet, but it's bubbling, family. You know I get crazy. It's bubbling. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to go on record. Don't sleep on the Phoenix Suns, all right? Stop sleeping on these boys. Listen, I know it's easy to hate, but it's going to be harder to say my bad when you're wrong, all right? It's going to be harder to say my bad. The Phoenix Suns are the most underrated team in the NBA. They haven't even been complete all season. Currently, they're top 4 in the West with all the fake drama that was reported to begin the season. They've been missing at least one different starter for the entire year. Haven't even had their whole roster. Crowder been out. Cam Johnson been out. CP been out. Ayton's been out. Payne has been out. Shaman has been out. Book has been out. Come on. The team has been playing up and down, you can say, right? But they're still steady. And still, they had I don't remember the win streak exactly, but it was like a 5-game win streak. And then they had like a 5 or 6-game lose streak that they just had recently. Playing some tough teams, and that happens. Teams go through growing pains when they have players in and out of the lineup and they're trying to learn a new rotation, right? Book has been sensational this year. Stepped up his scoring. 28, 5, and 5. One of the only players with multiple 50-point games this season are Devin Booker and Joel Embiid. He lit up the Pelicans for 58 the other night. I know y'all saw that. He's been in the MVP discussions this year. He's been playing well. He's been playing excellent, right? But the elephant in the room for the Phoenix Suns is a Jay Crowder trade. We know this, right? I think this trade right here, or what happens with this trade, really alters the trajectory of the Western Conference depending on what the Suns or what another team gets back. And it could shake up the league, if I'm being honest with you. It could be a small trade like an Eric Gordon coming over there to the Suns, or a Kyle, or maybe a little bit larger like a Kyle Kuzma coming over there to the Suns. But it's going to be big time, right? There's a reason why this trade has been bubbling. There's a reason why Jay Crowder hasn't been traded yet. There's a lot of teams vying for his services, and the Suns are looking for the best return for them. And also the other teams looking to get Jay Crowder also looking for the best return. So that tells me that this trade is going to be very calculated, and the trade is going to be a masterful one. I really think so. The Suns have been playing well, like I said before, and it's just going to be icing on the cake when they do get Jay Crowder's replacement, because it's most likely going to be somebody that they need. Ayton has been playing solid this season. I know I've been on his case, but he's been playing well lately the last couple of games. He's been more ferocious in the paint. He's been rebounding. He's been being more of a rim protector at the rim, and he's been scoring a lot more, being a lot more aggressive. So I got to give him credit there. I talked about it before. CP has been taking a step. He's been making an effort to take a step back this year. And listen, I'm challenging CP to shoot 5 threes per game. I need 5 threes per game for you, CP. I know you're taking a step back this year in terms of playmaking and ball handling. So if you're gonna be a spot-up shooter, I need you to take at least 5 threes per game. All right? That's all I got. Okogie, he's been an unsung hero for the team. He's been excellent. What else happened with the Suns? Oh, the Pelicans-Suns rivalry. That was cute. It was cute. It was a couple little battles here and there. That's nice. I mean, I like to see the chippiness. I love to see the rivalry. So, but if I'm being honest, I see the Grizzlies and the Suns as the 2 top teams in the Western Conference when it's all said and done, in my opinion. And we're going to see how that shakes up. I think those are going to be the last 2 teams standing in the West when it's all said and done. And the Suns, we're going to see what they have coming up. They got a huge 5-game stretch coming up against some playoff teams. Lakers, Nuggets. They played the Grizzlies twice in 5 days. They're going to have to get better on the road, man. I believe they have the 5-9 record on the road for the Suns. They're going to have to get a little bit better on the road. But listen, I'm telling you, most underrated team in the NBA right now. Once that Jay Crowder trade happens, something about to happen. Moving on. 2 teams that I want to keep my eye on, or that I'm keeping my eye on this season. The Raptors, the Toronto Raptors, and the Chicago Bulls. I need to know if these 2 teams are on tank watch. Right? Are these 2 the most disappointing teams in the league this season? Maybe. It's possible. The Raptors have lost 8 of 10 recently, currently out of the playoff race right now. They're struggling to protect the rim. They're struggling to hit consistent threes. Scotty Barnes has kind of regressed in his second year, which is surprising to me. And when you look at the numbers compared to last year, they're damn near the same. They're damn near identical. 15.6 rebounds or something like that this season compared to last, which is basically the same. But he just hasn't had the same impact this season as he's had last year. He was Rookie of the Year last year, clearly, so we know he had a major impact. But this year, something's a little bit off for Scotty, or it may just be a sophomore slump, or maybe just a combination of all of the injuries that the Raptors are sustaining. So I've been a little disappointed in the Raptors this year, man. And the Bulls, talk about them, another disappointing team in the NBA. I'm going to bring Dave on here soon. Big Dave, we're going to talk about the Bulls because I don't know what's going on with these fellas, man. They lost 4 in a row. Now dropping to, I think, 10th or 11th in the East. The last game they allowed the Minnesota Timberwolves to drop 150 points on them. Ridiculous. A lot of people are calling for a roster shakeup for the Chicago Bulls, but what can they really do on the trade market other than the obvious? And the obvious would be trading either DeMar DeRozan or Zach LaVine. And I don't know if that's the best options for this team right now. I'm not sure. In my opinion, those are not the best options to do that right now, because that would be full straight panic mode right now to be trading both of your 2 cornerstone franchise pieces, or even one of them right now, just to, I guess, tank, because it's difficult for the Bulls because they're not bad enough to tank to get Webby or Scoot. So you're just going to be a middle-of-the-pack bad team that's trying to tank. And I don't think that's a great strategy for the Bulls, who made the playoffs last year. You had a renaissance year last year. Maybe you need to retool, revitalize, and see what you have going. Because if I'm being honest, a lot of teams have a down year. It's not really crazy to have a down year, especially in the first couple of 20 games, 30 games or so. A lot of teams are still trying to get used to each other. You can't fully evaluate a team until right after Christmas. which is about where we're at right now. So the Bulls are a bit of an incomplete team also as well, because they have had 0 point guard play this entire season. We know Lonzo has been out the entire year, and they had a report that he won't be back most likely for the rest of the year. So we know 0 point guard play has been the Achilles heel for the Chicago Bulls this entire season, and it's hard to ignore how much Lonzo's absence has been a disappointment for the Chicago Bulls. So I don't think it's time for either one of these teams to really entertain blowing it up yet. You know what I'm saying? Both have quality rosters, playoff type quality rosters, and I don't think they're bad enough to have a legit shot, like I said before, at getting number 1 or number 2 pick or top 3 pick at all. So I think they need to still evaluate until we get about 40, 50 games in and then see what's up. But honestly, a DeMar DeRozan trade or a Zach LaVine trade midseason would be crazy to me. I'm going to be honest. I think it would be crazy. Maybe Vooch I could see happening, but one of those two getting traded, I don't know. But we'll see. Yeah, so we're watching out for those Raptors and the Bulls. So, man, I wanted to talk a little bit about the awards this season, right? Because there are so many options that you can get for a lot of the awards, right? So I said earlier in the year, it's the QW, right? It's the Quarter Water Awards. We are a quarter of the way into the season, maybe a little bit, maybe a couple of games more by the time this episode comes out, 30 games or something like that, 25, 30 games. But we're basically at the quarter of the way mark, right? Many players, some teams have been established. So I wanted to go over some of my picks, my personal above the rim picks for the Quarter Water Awards this season, right? Starting up. Coach of the year, or actually, Coach of the Quarter. I'm going to say Coach of the Quarter for me for the above the rim Coach of the Quarter Award. Chauncey Billups, Coach of the Quarter, man. I love what he's doing over there in Portland, man. One of my Western Conference sleepers is the Portland Trailblazers. They lead the league in three-point percentage. They still have 3 players averaging over 20. Top 6 record in the Western Conference right now. Chauncey has been really instilling his values into this team, and I think he's been doing a phenomenal job. And I think this team is lock in step with each other and really are honing in on the goal and are really working as a unit to really achieve their goal. So I really like what Chauncey Billups is doing out there in Portland. And this was a tough decision because there's a lot of worthy candidates for Coach of the Quarter. You got Willie Green out there in the Pelicans. You got Will Hardy with the Jazz. You got Mike Brown with the Kings. You got Joe Mazzulla with the Celtics. And you got JB Bickerstaff with the Cavs. So there's a lot of worthy candidates for the Coach of the Quarter. But me, I'm going with my guy Chauncey, right? Rookie of the Quarter. I don't think there's any debate right here. I already done talked about him this episode. I done talked about him last episode. It's the Magic standout rookie. Gotta give it to my boy Paolo, man. Runner up to me, though, either between Jaden Ivey or Ben Mathurin. I really like Jaden Ivey, so I might give him 2, but Ben Mathurin from the Pacers has been excellent as well. So yeah, gotta go with Paolo there. Rookie of the Quarter. Most improved player of the quarter. The People's Champ, Bobo. Listen, the most improved player of the quarter, I gotta give it to Bobo. Listen, I've been talking, damn, that's 2 Magic players in a row. I just realized, wow. I don't want to hear no Halliburton or no SGA, nothing, all right? If you know basketball, it's no surprise that both of those guys are going to be nice this year. We already knew Halliburton was good. We already knew SGA was going to be nice. Bobo, though, chill. You did not know he was about to step on the scene this year, really get some quality minutes, and really play well. Last season, I'm going to just run this down to you, show you why he's the most improved player of the year. Last season, 2 points per game. This season, 12 points per game. Last season, 1 rebound per game. This season, 7 rebounds per game. Last season, 1 block per game. This season, 1 block per game, right? Every statistical category has gone up for Bobo. Confidence is going up, and we're now able to see what he can produce with some decent minutes. He's actually starting for the Orlando Magic, so I got to give him some credit there. And he's my most improved player of the quarter is Bobo for me. And probably for the year, too, I might stick with that most likely. But for the quarter, it's absolutely Bobo. But some other worthy candidates, Lauri Markkanen, De'Aaron Fox, Devin Vassell, Halliburton, SGA, all worthy candidates as well for most improved player of the quarter. Moving on. Defensive player of the quarter. For me, above the rim, we going with Triple J of the Memphis Grizzlies, all right? I'm giving it to my boy Triple J. He averaging 17 and 3 blocks right now. He's the best help defender in the league, and Triple J deserves some Defensive Player of the Year recognitions, all right? He's been playing excellent since he's came back from injury for the Memphis Grizzlies. And like I said before, he's the best help defender in the league, in my opinion. He's always there to help clean up the messes at the rim whenever somebody gets a blow by. Triple J has been excellent, and I think, to me, he's going to eventually win Defensive Player of the Year. Well, I wouldn't say that. He's my pick for Defensive Player of the Year if he continues to stay healthy and he continues to play at this pace. But there are some other worthy candidates for Defensive Player of the Year. Brook Lopez, Anthony Davis, Bam Adebayo, OG Anunoby out there in Toronto. So there's also some worthy candidates for Defensive Player of the Year. Moving on. Sixth man of the quarter. I'm going with Russell Westbrook. I'm going with Russell Westbrook for sixth man of the quarter, right? 15, 6, and 8. He's averaging off the bench. First in triple doubles, first in assists, and first in attitude adjustments. I'm gonna give it to Russell Westbrook, man. He's my sixth man of the quarter for me. I think he's made the best league, like I said, attitude adjustment mentality wise. So that's why I'm gonna give him the nod for that. And they have a bunch of worthy candidates for the sixth man of the quarter also. Bobby Portis, Ben Mathurin, Malcolm Brogdon, Alex Caruso also been playing well off the bench. So, but me personally, I'm going to give it to Russ. I think he's had an excellent impact, and I think he's going to continue to have a great impact for the Lakers. Stats-wise, point differential, whatever the case may be, I think Russell Westbrook is going to be excellent if he continues to come off the bench going forward for the rest of the season. Last but not least, my MVP of the quarter. Right? There are 5 worthy candidates for the quarter water MVP. Right? Jason Tatum averaging 38 and 4 with elite efficiency for the best team in the league. John Morant stepping up in every statistical category, including leadership, having career highs in every category. Giannis, typical Giannis, steady force. KD averaging 36 and 5 while dealing with most of the off the court issues, and a half of Ben Simmons. Luka, who's been unstoppable individually this year, 33, 8, and 8, leading the league in scoring. Book has stepped up his scoring, multiple 50-point games. Embiid, Jokic also gets some consideration. But me, quarter water MVP for above the rim. I'm going with Jason Tatum. I don't think that's too much surprise, but it might be. I'm going with JT. Listen, he's the first official quarter water MVP for above the rim. I can't deny the impact that he has this season. Like I said, 38 and 4, top efficiency, best team in the NBA. The Celtics have also defeated some of the odds coming in. They had the most turmoil of any team coming into the season. They handled it well. They stayed as a unit. Jason Tatum has stepped up his leadership. Jaylen Brown also stepped up his leadership as well. They're having a nice chemistry and a nice way they play off each other at being both wings of this lineup. Because not too long ago, a lot of people were saying that they can't play together. A lot of people were saying that they can't handle the responsibility of being the two top wings or both being a 1A, 1B option. They said they couldn't figure it out, but the fellas did, right? And they're playing excellent. So shout out to the Boston Celtics for having an excellent first quarter of the season. And shout out to JT for being that driving force for the Boston Celtics. Before we get on out of here, Christmas Day schedule. Make sure we tune into that. What we got? 76ers and Knicks as the first game. I think that's going to be a solid game as well. I might go to 76ers on that one. Lakers and Mavs for the second game. Now with AD out, I'm going with the Mavs on that game right there. I think that's going to be a solid game. After that, we got the Bucks and the Celtics at that 5 o'clock matchup. That's going to be tough. I'm going to go with the Celtics on that one, man. Listen, my favorite game after that, the Grizzlies and the Warriors going to be at 8 p.m. I'm going to go with the Grizzlies on that one because I think the Grizzlies are hungry. I think the Grizzlies are ready for war, and they are ready right now to go at the Warriors. And after that, for the nightcap, it's going to be the Suns and the Nuggets. And you know I'm going to Suns on that one. Come on now, but I think that's going to be an excellent battle as well. So the Christmas Day, we have some nice Christmas Day games this year. Hope everyone enjoys the holidays. Make sure everyone's sitting on that screen. Happy holidays to everyone, to you and your family. I appreciate you, of course, for listening to the show. You already know what it is with me, man. I'm going to be tuned in. I'm going to be glued to the couch watching these Christmas Day games, and I'm sure you are too. So, shout out to the NBA for having a good lineup. And, family, appreciate you for joining me once again, as always. Thank you for keeping it locked in with me on this journey. Appreciate all the love and support. Keep writing those comments, liking the videos, leaving reviews as well. I appreciate all the love, of course. Make sure you keep hitting me up on Twitter, IG, Facebook, YouTube, all of that good stuff with your NBA takes on Twitter. You want to shout out on me, you want to call in the show, 908-718-1592. Make sure you do that, family. Send those hot takes in. Got a couple of fellas coming in on the next episode. It's going to be lit. All right? Subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. I appreciate you, family, as always. This is episode 192, and we out.